Hey everyone, thanks again for joining me for another episode of the Liverpool Connection Podcast. This is PubChat. Obviously, I'm not at the pub on a long weekend and just getting back home. And I've decided that my beard doesn't look as good as Jono's or Delcros', so this might be a failed experiment for me. So back to shaving and having a clean face starting tomorrow. But anyway, hey, thanks for joining me. I just want to get a quick review of the match yesterday against Ipswich, and then also look forward to our Champions League match against PSV. Once again, the boys did the business at home. It was a great day. I know we had some people from Austin over there at the match, and they had a great time. Beating Ipswich 4-1, it was expected. They gave us a hard time at the beginning of the season, and so a lot of people were expecting something similar. But that scoring an early goal, which we haven't done a lot recently, by Soboslai, getting us off the mark, and it really set the tone for the rest of the game, and it's very important for the squad. Getting those 3 points, getting it, being in control of the game, because that really sets up Slot to have his rotations for the next couple of games, and we'll get into that here in a second. But what a dominant performance! Obviously a lot of the accolades will go to Gapco with his 2 goals and an assist, but I felt like Soboslai did a lot of work too. What a willing runner. That first goal, great pass from Konate, that entry pass into that, and Soboslai with a quick change of feet going to his left side and showing the ability that he has to really score with both feet, with power and precision. And obviously we'd all love to see more goals from him, but I don't think that really Slot is needing or is looking for that part of the game to be the most important. He's presses from the front. He does all the running. So, but I think added goals is a bonus for the squad. But what a great finish, and it was good to see him running around, and he had a part of Gapco's goal too later on when he makes that run through the center, and he gets the ball passed from Gravenberch. What a pass that was! Shoots it, deflects it back out, and Gapco has an easy finish. Even on Salah's goal, what a great ball by Gapco to the far post, cutting it in on his right. People thinking he's shooting, but no, obviously there was no space to shoot. And then he puts that ball to the far post. Soboslai is there. He is attracting 2 defenders. They jump with him. It goes over their head. And what a great first touch by Salah. I mean, that is a difficult skill. I know he made it look easy, and I think some of the pundits on the networks, they recognize that that's pretty hard when you don't expect that ball to come to your feet and there's people jumping in front of you, and you're able to bring that down and then in an instant get it over to your left foot and blast it in the top shelf there, and to borrow a hockey term. But anyway, yeah, what a great goal. Salah gets off the mark again, and another goal. He just scores, right? Because if you look at some of the stats, I mean, his XG for the game was only 0.2, right? And so, or excuse me, 0.02 or 0.3. I don't know. It wasn't. He didn't have the game that we all thought he was. And matter of fact, I wanted to talk about XG. Our in open play, ours was 1.92. Theirs was 0.20. So that's the kind of game that we've been expecting from Klopp and this team. That's the kind of by Slot. I'm sorry, wow, Freudian slip. But that's the kind of game that Slot really wants to see the team where we're averaging around 2 XG, and the opposition is less than 0.5. And so what a dominant performance. I know they had some chances at the very end, but the game was pretty much done and dusted at that point. I was looking to see about Delap. I know we have a lot of people that would really like to sign him, but he didn't get any service really, and Trent did a great job, I thought, defensively on his right side, and really neutralizing the counterattacks. And Konate, obviously, what a bonus to have him back there. And one of the things I did want to talk about is we started with Diaz at the 9 again, and it really wasn't coming off for him. I mean, his XG for the game was 0.02. To compare Elliott, who only had like 20 minutes. His XG was .05. So it just kind of shows you that that game wasn't the best game for Diaz to really create any chances for himself or for his teammates. And but so he and Nunez may be coming back and forth as long as Jota's out. That might be a position that they rotate based on the style of the other team, whether there's going to be a low block or if there's going to be spaces to run at defenders. I think the left back with Robbo and Simicus is going to be the same way. I think that's going to be every other game rotation for those guys, and they're just going to have to share minutes, it looks like. But we bossed the game. Our midfield was all over the place, and it pretty much is the midfield that Slot wants with Maka, Grav, and Soboslai. They're all willing runners. They all have technical ability. The way they press and move and transition from back to front, even though there wasn't a lot of that because they didn't. Ipswich didn't really press our defensive line too much. There wasn't really a lot of that transition, but when the opportunities to nick the ball back, those guys were there. And then obviously Endo coming in at the end, and he being a warrior. I thought that was a reckless challenge on him. Could have been a red card. I'm surprised VAR didn't ask the referee to go and look at that. But I think we all know who was on VAR, and he wasn't gonna. I think it was Tierney, and he's not gonna give us anything, is he? We're all accustomed to that. So luckily the game was already done and dusted by then. This team just marches on. Still 6 points up over Arsenal, who unfortunately for the Reds, they did get a late equalizer in their or winning goal, I'm sorry, in their game against Wolves. So we're still 6 points up with a game in hand. And then the surprise result by Forest getting just throttled by our next opponent in the Premier League, Bournemouth, 5-0. And so we'll talk about that here in a second. But just a commanding performance. Slots pulling all the strings. The players are really buying into the system. And, we still have, I think, we still have Jota to come back. We have Elliott. It's good to see him starting to play a little bit more because he does offer that creativity in the midfield versus just the power that Soboslai has. And then you have Endo, who I think Slot is starting to warm up to, And to be honest, I think Endo knows that when he goes in, he's playing an important role, giving people minutes to rest. But he's that warrior that goes in there and wins his battles and doesn't give the other team a moment's rest in that midfield. So good to see him getting some time as well. Even young Dan's got to come in this week, this game, and that is another reason why it's so nice to get these games done early, to give people rest, give them other players the opportunity, and we're going to need all the players. All 25 are on the squad, plus Gomez and Jota to come back. They're all going to contribute and as we continue to march towards what we hope is number 20 this season. So a great victory and just another game off the schedule that takes us closer to the prize. So next weekend we do have a big matchup with Bournemouth right now. On Saturday, they're flying. They're unbeaten in 12 games, and they really just demolished Forest and Newcastle back-to-back games. So I think Tyler Adams, the American, and he's really fit into that team, and he's playing very well at the heart of their midfield. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Liverpool Bournemouth match next week, and I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be kind of wide open. Both teams kind of Bournemouth doesn't really bunker back, so it's going to be a fun watch. So, but before we get to there, obviously there's the matter of the Champions League on Wednesday. If you can, take the day off. All Champions League games are being played at the same time. I don't know how everybody's going to do it. I know here in the States, Peacock has this channel that you can watch 4 games at the same time, or there's like a goal zone type where they just go to goals. But what a great day to just be able to sit at home, maybe, if you have the opportunity, and watch these games. We're obviously undefeated. We're 7-0. And so it'll be interesting because we were able to really play in second gear this last weekend, in this weekend versus Ipswich. Slot has the opportunity to make a lot of changes since we've already, you know, have gotten into either the top two. We've already secured top two. It will really depend on how he wants to attack this game against PSV. Is winning first place important? Obviously, Barcelona could still leapfrog us if we end up losing. And secure the top spot. But they have a tough matchup against Atalanta. Atalanta is in seventh place right now, and 12 teams, believe it or not, 12 teams can jump Atalanta and qualify in the top eight. So I think Atalanta is going to go in that game, really wanting to get a victory on the road in Madrid, just so that they can secure a bye into the next round. So it'll be interesting to see how Barcelona sees that, goes into that fixture, how Atalanta attacks them. They have a better goal differential than we do. They're +1 on goal differential over Liverpool. So it'll be interesting matchup on that. And then of course, us playing PSV, how will Slot and the boys look at that? I think they're gonna want to go out and win. I think our second team per se is still stronger than what PSV could put out there. So looking probably and what an amazing journey that would be, right, to go 8-0 in this newly formatted Champions League. Be a testament to Slot, the players, and really it's been kind of fun. I'm looking forward to Wednesday actually to see all these different permutations and live standings and who's going in, because at this point in the season, I think all these top teams, they don't want to have that extra round where they have to go home and away. And then obviously, you have teams like Man City and PSG that if they don't win, they're out. And, who could have said stuff like that in the old format that was very rare, wherein those top teams don't qualify into the knockout. So what a great week of footy. This Reds team is so fun to watch. The journey has been great. I know everybody still wants transfers and things like that, but where are you going to put anybody you sign? Who are you going to sit? We have such a strong team. Even the secondary squad is so strong that we can put them out there and more or less still have a better team than what our opposition is. So continue being positive. Whether or not we sign anybody, that's up to Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. I trust that they're doing their business on the back end. And hopefully we may have some contracts signed by the end of the month. But, whether we do or not, as long as we can continue our form, we'll worry about who's on our squad next year after the summer starts, right, guys? After the season. So anyways, hey, thanks for joining me. Looking forward to the footy this week. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. And hopefully I'll have Jono or one of the other guys with me. We can have a little bit of banter. So cheers. Please like, subscribe, put on your notifications, send me some comments down in the comment section, and we'll get back to you. And until then, up the Reds. Cheers.